The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. It is our Go Texan edition, the first of at least 3 or 4, so we're glad you tuned in to the show today. I am your host, Bill Knapik, and we have a special show for you today. So let's get down to business right now as we welcome Houston's favorite chief meteorologist. That's right. He is David Paul with Channel 11 KHOU TV. Dave, welcome to the show.
I think that makes me like a B- or a C+ celebrity. I think I'm right in that slot.
You are the top, Dave. Everybody loves David Paul. I'm watching all the time. You and the team are doing fantastic work, and we need the help of Channel 11 all the time to know what's going on.
We've got an awesome team. Len and Mia, our two anchors, we're just friends. We're buddies. We crack up during the commercial breaks. We got to have our own show, which is just the commercial breaks, because they're just two of the most delightful people to come in and work with. And if you only knew how funny Len Cannon is, even though he's the serious anchorman.
He does have that serious element, but I could see a smirk, and I could see what you're talking about.
Oh, he's got the devil in him.
Well, let's tell people, as far as when we use the term chief meteorologist, I mean, weather is fascinating for all of us in so many ways, but what do you do as the chief meteorologist? What's that role?
Well, I set the tone for how we're going to deliver the weather product to our audience. We are in a position of service to our audience, especially when the weather's bad. That's our number one priority. When we're threatened by a storm system, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, a flood, a heat wave, a drought, my job is to circle the wagons and go over, hey, team, this is how we're going to present this to our audience. These are the most important facts we need to get out. We only have a certain amount of time during each broadcast for weather. It's 2.5 to 3 minutes, and we've got to get in the important stuff in there. One of the things about me is I grew up in Houston. Wasn't born here, but grew up almost native. And I've just seen, I just feel like I know this place like the back of my hand. And I feel like, having been, I was raised here by my mom and dad, and then I raised my family here in Houston. I've been through it all. And I like to think that I can help other, residents here, get through with some little secrets on how to survive each one of these incidents.
And we need all the help we can get. There's so many nuances to Houston weather, and as you mentioned, some of the big events that happen, sometimes they happen every other week or every 3 weeks. So I would imagine, from your perspective, you and the team, that is, that there are, quote, normal days. Hey, it's going to be sunny, right? And then there's the red alert days. Tell us about the difference in how you're approaching those short time periods.
We see it coming. We're like a watchtower, we're like a lighthouse. We're always looking ahead, further than we even show in the extended forecast. We're looking ahead so that we can begin to plan for these big events, because it's not just the weather team that has to go on alert. The reporters, the producers, our engineers, they've got to know about a storm threat, because they're the ones that keep us on the air and keep us running, keep our connectivity going. When you talk about big weather events and real estate, I think the number one rule for big weather events and real estate, whether you're a homeowner, renter, anything, is to get flood insurance. Even if you're not on the floodplain, own flood insurance, because it rains really heavy sometimes. Heavier than you think.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you're above the floodplain, you can still get flooded, and I got busted with that and learned that lesson the hard way.
So you didn't renew, or you didn't get flood insurance on this particular property? Just curious.
We had moved into our house up in the Jersey Village area. The subdivision was Woodwind Lakes. Beautiful spot. Loved it. Back of a cul-de-sac. We're above the 100-year floodplain, so being a new, naive homeowner, I thought, you know what, I'll just save some money and not buy flood insurance. We're above the floodplain. And then Tropical Storm Allison hit in June of 01. Ooh. And I was filling in for Dr. Frank that evening. I was doing the morning show, my regular schedule, but Doc was on vacation. I'm going to fill in. And that night, I think we were on the air for 10 hours straight with the flood coverage. And I'll never forget, around 4 a.m, get a call from my wife. We've got a new 1-year-old at home, and I'm like, how are we doing? And she says, we're flooded. There's water in the house. We're moving next door. We have flood insurance, right?
Well,
and
Dave,
my stomach twisted, and I, no, we don't. That was a really hard lesson. One that I'll never forget. I think I've mentioned to you that I do have a couple of rental properties in the area. I've gotten into real estate, learned a ton from you guys, but one of my biggest rules is, I will never buy a property that's in the floodplain, and I carry flood insurance anyway on any property I own.
That's a good move. In fact, when Hurricane Harvey came in February, I got my renewal for my flood insurance, and I said, all these years I've never used flood insurance, $545 I think it was, and something told me, go ahead, just one more time.
Yeah.
And thank God that my home flooded and I had the flood insurance. So we'll just emphasize, have flood insurance if you're here in Houston, Texas. And, Dave, so many people have moved in the last couple of years. In fact, as we speak, there are people moving in. So we encourage you, have flood insurance no matter what, wherever you're at. I think it's good advice.
And don't forget, this is weather market number 1, in my opinion. Even though we may be TV market number 4 or 5, it's weather market number 1. There is no other population density in the United States that faces the weather threat, the constant weather threats that we face, not only from sitting on the Gulf Coast with the threat of a landfalling hurricane, but we get the ice storms, we get the hard freezes, the droughts, the afternoon thunderstorms that turn into, torrential rain and flood your car. And it is almost a constant threat. A normal quiet day is like the most abnormal thing that we have here. So expect the weather to get bad, get flood insurance, and really just stay close to the weather, whether you watch us or I don't care where you get it. Just stay abreast of the forecast so you don't get caught off guard, you and your family, and in the events that just seem to happen here, sometimes just rapid fire one after another.
We're talking with Dave Paul. He's the chief meteorologist at Channel 11 KHOU TV right here in Houston, Texas. Dave, give us an idea. You mentioned earlier that when you are on a, say, normal broadcast and telling people the weather, you and the team, that is, it has to be done. Those bullet points have to happen in 3 minutes or so. And when we think about the challenge of less is more, how do you cipher that out to be able to say, this is what we're going to say?
Yeah, that's a great question. You have to self-edit because there's an ocean of material that I would love to go over. I'd like to have an hour for every weathercast.
Exactly.
And I could do an hour every day, no problem. I love telling the story of how what's happening over in Siberia is going to end up impacting us 10 days out and just showing it. And I've got the graphics and the ability and the weather tools to do that, but I don't have an hour. I've got 3 minutes. So we meet, we talk, we Zoom, and we decide, okay, what are the 3 really important things that we need to get across and communicate to our viewers. And that's what we do. We edit out the hundreds of things we could talk about and get it down to 3. And that's where, you asked what my role is as chief. That's where my role with the experience, that's where I really come in. I'm like, trust me, guys, these are the 3 most important things. And this is how we're going to say it. This is the tone we're going to bring. There's no reason to panic us or anybody. We become a clearinghouse for information. That's all we are when the weather gets bad, and that's our calling. It's just be that clearinghouse of information so you have a safe place, you know where to go to get the knowledge that you need.
And as we watch you on TV, let's say during one of these serious or potential serious reports that you're giving, are you ever thinking in the back of your mind, especially now that you're saying you have rental properties,
Oh, yeah.
Are you thinking, is my house okay? Are the rental properties okay?
You bet I am. You bet I am. But I know the area, so when I go in to look for a new property, Single-family homes is what I invest in. The first thing I'm looking for is this in a flood-prone area? And if it is, I just nope.
Let's keep going.
Keep going. Just keep going. And then, so the ones I found are way up high. So I actually sleep pretty well at night, knowing that I've done my homework. But I still carry the flood insurance. This is the thing, because I know it can happen. Weird things happen. We get rainfall rates of 10 inches or more per hour out of some of these storms. And that happens over anybody's property. It can flood. The gutters, the primary drainage, they're made to handle 2 inches per hour. But we can get 10 per hour. After 2 inches per hour, that's when water starts to build in the street and get up in your yard a little bit. But at 10 an hour, and sometimes those storms can just sit on you, it doesn't matter where you are, you could flood, carry the flood insurance, and sleep soundly at night.
Look for the home on the hill.
Yeah, buy where I'm buying. That's what you should do.
We're going to follow that. Yeah, we're going to keep posted on where Dave is buying property. No doubt about that, because it is so important. And quite frankly, after going through a flood myself, I'll be honest, when we're getting a lot of rain and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down, I get a little nervous. There's like a PTSD that happens for those that have been flooded, perhaps.
Absolutely. I'm sure it was some level of PTSD that I suffered. And every time then after my house flooded in 2001 from Allison, when it would rain, like the sound. You know it. You're like, oh, that's the roar of the rain that's heavy enough to cause flooding. And, my stomach I'd get in a knot. I get worried about it. Like, is my home going to flood again? It never did. It was just that one-off storm that got me.
Well, give us an idea also. When you first started as far as being interested in weather, what brought you on this path to begin with?
Man, I loved the weather. I loved looking at the sky. I loved thunderstorms. They thrilled me. So my dad, he was an engineer. And I will remember, I think we had just recently moved to Houston. We were living in the Memorial area off of Kings Ride. And there was a thunderstorm outside. I was little. I was 2 or 3. And I remember he was teaching my brother and I have an older brother, 2 years older than me. And he okay, now take a quarter and let's walk, scrape your feet on the carpet and let's make a lightning bolt. And you could make a little spark on the doorknob of the front door, and that just blew my mind. He's like, that's a lightning bolt. It's just like a lightning bolt coming from this thunderstorm right now, and it having a little bit of knowledge gave me a little sense of control, so I wasn't as scared of the thunderstorm. That was the dad in him doing his dad job, but he knew what he was doing. He was teaching his little boys about electricity, and that. Having a parent who cared like that enough to teach me a little something, that is what I think sparked my love for all things weather. And as I went along, I would chase storms. I'd take my dad's binoculars. I think I lost my dad's binoculars like 2 or 3 times, and he would never get mad at me. I said, Dad, I was storm chasing on my bike. I left him at my friend's house, and okay, Dave.
So you're riding around on your bike with binoculars.
Oh,
How
absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. I couldn't get enough.
Awesome. So, and then you mentioned about Siberia. I can't picture right now where that is, but I know it's kind of far away, and there's no Buc-ee's there probably. However, that said, how far do we really know with certainty as far as, because there's so many factors, I guess, with weather. I've never studied it, but how far do we know in advance? Like, do we know 3 days ahead? Pretty sure what's going to happen, or what?
It's a great question. I think at this point, 3 days out, we have a very good handle on how a system is going to play out. However, you can look 7, 8, 9, 10 days out, and you can get a general idea. And with Siberia, if we're going to get a hard freeze that freezes pipes and kills plants, it almost always starts in Siberia with a bitter cold air mass there. So I'm always in winter just seeing what the temperatures are over there. And if they're getting down to 30, 40, 50 below over Siberia, we can see with the computer models the general pattern that could, if we see this pattern on the models, we say, what, if that verifies 10 days out, that would be the type of pattern that would pull that air across the Arctic Circle into Canada, down the Front Range of the Rockies, into Texas, and that would be a pattern that would freeze us. So, team, let's just keep an eye on that. That's how we do our long-range forecasting. That's the watchtower, how we're always looking at these. And these patterns, sometimes they don't pan out. And, if it's 10, 11, 12 days out, a lot of times we won't be talking about it on the TV broadcast, but it's something we're thinking about, so that if it begins to get a little closer and starts to look more likely, we want to give our viewers as early a warning as they can, as far as like a tornado outbreak setup or a hurricane on the way or a freeze.
I would imagine the tools and resources that your station has and you have in terms of knowledge are pretty great. What do we have now, or what are the things you're using now that weren't available from a technology standpoint, I don't know, a couple years ago? What is anything surprised you that, wow, we got this great new tool?
Well, I think the biggest change and the most useful change is that the computing power has just gotten better and better and better. The number crunching ability of these supercomputers. And what it's allowed us to do is, the more data we can put in, the better an output we get from these algorithms, these computer programs. So you're familiar with the forecast cone, the cone of uncertainty. So over the last 10 years, that cone perhaps was this wide 3 or 4 days out. Well, it's now this wide 3 or 4 days out. It's shrunk. That's an increase in forecasting accuracy. And when you're talking about a hurricane that can destroy, property, infrastructure, people's lives, having a little bit better forecast, a little bit tighter forecast cone is just incredibly valuable to not just the people in a coastal community, but the first responders, the local and state government, so that their resources, they can better focus their resources and be prepared. Just having a better forecast on where that powerful hurricane is going, that's been the biggest change and the most valuable change over the last decade.
We're talking with David Paul, Chief Meteorologist at Channel 11, right here in Houston, Texas, KHOU TV. David, you're making me think, as we're thinking about the majesty of weather and the magnificence of it. What about snow? I mean, snow's pretty cool. We don't have much here, but I've always enjoyed being in places that snowed throughout my life, and that's got that phenomenon itself. I mean, what do you think about snow?
In Houston, it's magic.
It is. Man,
it is just magic. And I can remember seeing my first snowfall here in Houston on King's Ride. I was pre-K when that happened. I believe that was 71, the winter of 71, 72. Made a snowman. It just blew my mind. I'd never seen snow at that point. But when I was a little older, we get a lot of times where we'll have a freeze, but there's no moisture available to make snow. So as a little kid, I would take my garden hose and I would spray it into the sky and try to add moisture to the atmosphere to try to make it snow. It never worked.
Good idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good idea. It didn't seem to work too well. But that is just, in Houston, to get a snowfall, it's so difficult to get those conditions here because the Gulf of Mexico is a heat source. So it just makes it difficult to get that vertical column. We have to be frozen from the top of the atmosphere down to the bottom to get those snowflakes to come down. Quite often here we'll get layers where it's above freezing, maybe 6,000, 7,000 feet above the surface, and the snowflakes will be falling and they'll hit that above freezing layer and they'll turn into raindrops, and then they'll refreeze on the way down, but that's sleet or freezing rain, which is boring and just ruins traffic. It's not that fluffy white snow that we love, but every now and then we get it.
No doubt about it. It's beautiful. Dave, with the last 2 minutes left here in the segment, what else do you want people to know about weather, you, or anything?
Oh man, I don't know.
You got 2 minutes now. You do that bullet point thing like with the weather, right?
Okay.
So here we go.
Who is David Paul? David, I love Houston because I can golf in the wintertime. It's beautiful. I'm not frozen. My friends who've moved off to northern states, they call me and they're jealous, the ones that live in Chicago and Detroit. Oh, I'm sorry, Brad. The people in Houston, it's like people here are the type that are just hardworking. The work ethic in Houston is like none other. And the way we treat people, the way we treat each other is like no other city I've ever been to. This is the type of city where you and I are going to cross on the street. Okay, we're walking down the sidewalk, going different directions, and I don't know you, and I'm never going to see you again. You don't know me, and you're never going to see me again. But we're going to acknowledge each other. It's going to be a howdy, hey, and it just means that we care about each other. You're at work, you're doing your thing. I have respect for what you're doing. You have respect for me. I'm busy, I'm on my way. We're going to cross paths for just a millisecond, but we're going to recognize each other as a fellow Houstonian. And that's the vibe in this city. People, we're never going to meet again, but I still care about you. That's what I love about being here.
It's a super place, no doubt about it. You're doing such important work. You and the team at Channel 11. Tell Len and Mia I said hi. I watch them all, and he does look serious every now and then. I love that.
He's faking it. He's hilarious.
He is great. So let's tell people, if they just moved into Houston, Texas, they want to see David Paul and the team. The times you're on are?
Well, 5, 6, and 10. But watch us at 10. Watch us before you go to bed. That's easily our best show of the evening. We wrap up all the events of the day. I mean, yes, we're going to show, the bad stuff that's going on in our city so you can take action to protect yourself. But we also always make sure there are good, fun stories in there, positivity. Like we make sure in our meetings that, okay, what's going to be positive in this newscast? And then, of course, you're going to get your weather. We're going to check Siberia if it's getting cold up there. And we're going to check waves coming off the west coast of Africa and track those all the way just to be sure they don't hit us.
Let's keep our eyes on Siberia. David Paul, thank you so much for being with us on our Go Texan edition.
Right on, brother.
As we continue, let's talk to Kat Robinson. She is the vice chair of HAR right here in Houston, Texas. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's clear this up. HAR, let's tell people what it stands for.
So HAR stands for two things. Okay, it's the Houston Association of Realtors, and we manage the homesandrentals.com website, which is the number one website in Houston for real estate.
Isn't that great? The letters are doing extra work.
I know.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah.
And you're right there in the center of all of it.
It's magic.
As vice chair of HAR, let's tell people your role there.
Okay, so with leadership with HAR, it's all about volunteering, doing whatever you can to help support your members. So learning and listening is key so that we can take that information back to the leadership and make changes to support our members, the realtors of Houston.
Let's give people an idea, Kat, as far as those that are listening from outside of Houston. We have a lot of realtors in Houston. Let's talk a little bit about the numbers and give them a scope, because in other cities they're different.
Yes, it is definitely a different market here in Houston. We have about 52,000 realtors in Houston, and the beauty of that is that it is a free market, right? So you can get any type of service that you desire when it comes to selling, buying, renting homes.
52,000 realtors.
Yeah.
That's a bunch.
We are the largest trade association in Houston.
And also one of the most innovative. We're doing things here that other organizations haven't even thought of.
Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah, absolutely. We win awards every year for the innovation that we do.
Well, give us an idea how, as far as the community and the real estate community, how some of the ideas of what you're doing, HAR, that is, to support the community.
Yeah, so we have developed an incredible app that you can use to find reliable data and information about the market. Not all websites have that, right? So we have some checks and balances to help make sure that you get reliable information at har.com. We also are an advocacy group, so we work really hard to partner with our political figures, our elected figures, to make sure that home ownership is supported and that those potholes do get filled, right? Everybody wants that. So another layer of HAR is the education that we provide for our members to make sure that consumers are well represented and that they have the best agent that they can get their hands on.
And at HAR, I know you have a lot of meetings as far as making things better, improving the app, all those things. But when you looked ahead and maybe even a few weeks ago, but certainly at the end of last year, when you looked ahead at 2024, what were the expectations that you may have discussed that we should know about? It's a big year, right?
Yeah,
and
2024 is a really
change.
big year. Some really big focuses that we have this year is to continue to innovate, listen to our members and consumers to make sure that they get their needs met so that they can be the best that they can be. We also are really excited about our down payment assistant program that we have. So if you go to har.com/down payment, you'll actually get information about how you can get some help to purchase a home.
A lot of tools on that site, huh?
So many tools. It's again magic.
And here in this room with the many people that are in here, Kat, I bet everyone has the HAR app on their phone. I know I do.
Oh, it is incredible. And if you partner up with an agent, you claim that I'm going to work with, we'll say me, Kat Robinson, right?
Kat Robinson,
Hey.
why not?
Why not? So I can actually upgrade your app. So if we have an agreement to work together, then I actually can upgrade your app to give you more insider information that is a benefit that you get when you work with a realtor.
Wait a second. Let's back up a second. So you're saying a regular person that's not a realtor, that's looking at homes and so forth, we rely on the app. We might be driving down the street and say, I wonder what's going on here. We look at that. But if we're working with a realtor, you have a special power to make the app, more powerful? Like
yes.
Supersize the app?
Yeah. So it provides the property archive report to our clients.
Wow.
Which provides days on market and sold prices, exact sold prices. And again, Texas is a non-disclosure state when it comes to sold prices. So the fact that you're able to, as a client, get that information, it really helps set you up for success in your purchase.
We're talking with Kat Robinson. She's the vice chair of HAR right here in the fourth largest city in the United States, but also you are a real estate professional at Compass as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Let's tell people about your role at Compass and what you're doing.
So as a broker associate at Compass, I am in charge of representing buyers, sellers, and tenants and landlords, just like other realtors in our city. So I feel like with the leadership roles and characteristics that I've built over the years, I'm able to efficiently communicate with my managers and even Robert Refkin, our CEO, whenever something comes up that needs attention.
And as far as right now, are you helping more buyers or sellers in let's say, the last month or so in real estate?
I would say the last month or so would be buyers. It's fascinating. So right out of the chute, right? Well, keep with the Go Texans game, right? Right out of the chute. I had sellers come to me the first week of January. So the first half of January was all about sellers getting their homes on the market, and now it is transitioned to buyers. So I'm getting referrals. I actually just got a text message from another agent out of Dallas who had a buyer referral for me. So it is switching, which is great.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's tell people with social media what you're doing there in terms of how you use it. Or is there anything new in social media that you might be deploying here lately, or what do you do?
Gosh, so social media is always changing and shifting. What I'm doing is being available, but it is not my focus. I know that a lot of real estate coaches tell people, hey, you've got to be on social media. You got to do reels. You got to do this. I would love to have time to do that, but my job is to help buyers and sellers and tenants and landlords achieve their dreams. So as great as it is to have a popular, cool realtor with 1,000 followers or 1 million followers, that's cool, but that's not my job. So I have somebody who helps with my online presence, and I let them run with it, and I focus on my people.
Sounds good to me. Real estate. How did you get started in real estate? What drew you into the profession?
Okay, so I was in retail management before real estate, and I got burnt out. Man, it's hard work. You know,
the retail world.
Retail world is hard work, and bless all of those who are in it right now. Thank you for your hard work.
A lot of listeners that are in retail, I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So So whenever I took a break, I asked my family and friends, hey, what do you think I should do? You know, they've known me the longest. Maybe they had an idea, and it's like they had a powwow without me in it. And 7 of them immediately said, you need to do real estate. I laughed at them. and then I went ahead and said, you know what, for once in my life, instead of trying to prove to the world that I'm great, I'm going to listen to the people who already know that I'm great. And I started real estate 13 years ago, and it has been the best thing I've ever done.
Pretty exciting, huh?
It's magic. There's my word. It's incredible.
And every transaction's just a little bit different, right?
Yeah. Well, if you stop learning, you stop living, and you stop selling too. So, it's incredible.
Well, you told us about HAR as far as the outlook, but you mentioned Mr. Refkin. Give us an idea in the Compass meetings as you talk and the companies communicate and the locations communicate. How is Compass looking forward to 2024 that we're well into right now?
So Compass has some incredible goals. They're doing a lot of campaigns for our agents to get back to the basics and meet with people. So they're doing some really cool competitions nationally. I mean, you can win dinner with Robert Refkin at his home if you log in to the CRM and say how many times you've met with people in person. And what's cool about Robert's leadership is that he isn't just one that points fingers and tells you what to do. He does it himself. So he's actually lugging his family to open houses every weekend to support his agents because he thinks that why in the world would I ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do? And it is really incredible. It's definitely created a lot of rallying and excitement within the company.
And Kat, when you're not busy helping buyers and sellers and being the vice chair at HAR, what do you do in your free time?
Oh my gosh, I have the most incredible 8.5-year-old son. He is the light of my life. I know it's so cliche, but the cliches stay around for a reason, right? So he plays soccer and he loves playing Fortnite. He just got a battle royale the other day, so we celebrated that. He has special needs, so with him being on the spectrum, I'm always learning and trying hard to adapt to his needs so that he has a firm foundation to launch from. So it's an incredible ride, and he's taught me so much. I'm so grateful for him.
And what's his name? He's probably listening.
His name is Jack.
So we say hello to Jack.
Hi, Jack. I love you.
Hey, Jack. Kat Robinson, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Okay, so you can find me on har.com/Catherine Robinson. You can shoot me a text or give me a call back at 404-915-6282. That's 404-915-6282. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. And that's the number they can reach you if they need help buying or selling as well, right?
Yeah, let me be a resource.
Sounds great. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
Let's welcome Tony Cramond. She is with JLA Realty. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited. And, you know, JLA is such a great growing company. They're doing fantastic things there. Let's tell people at JLA a little bit about the company.
So JLA, we are celebrating 10 years on March 5th. We're very excited about that. John Altick, he is a wonderful mentor and teacher, and he's very supportive of all of his agents. And I've been with JLA since August, and I'm really happy and excited at JLA.
Indeed. And John we're expecting John to be on the show in the next couple of weeks, so
Yes.
That's very exciting. He's built a tremendous company, and I also understand that your party to celebrate was like last night or something.
Last night, yes, it
Give
was.
us a little insight of what the party was like, just a
So
bit.
the party was fabulous. It was very beautiful. We celebrated agents that were elite agents, top producing agents. My team celebrated us as a team, we're a small team with JLA Realty. So the collection also had a portion in the award ceremony where we honored our agents. But there were about 500 or 600 agents there. It was a wonderful night. It was a great experience. It was my first experience.
And you mentioned the collection, so that's the name of the team that you're a part of.
Yes, I'm a part of the collection team. We have offices in the Conroe Woodlands area, and we also have an office in the Humble Kingwood area. There are 11 of us on the collection team.
Wow, 11.
Yes, 11 of us.
Does that include you?
Yes, it includes me.
So there's 10 more that are out there
10 more awesome agents just like me.
doing tremendous work 24/7. Let's
Yes.
give people an idea. In the marketplace, again, the areas that you're covering, you personally and the collection team, what areas are you covering the most?
Well, we cover all of Houston, but our primary focus is in North Houston. Humble, Kingwood, the Woodlands, Conroe, Willis, those areas.
So give us an idea. Those are Houston's expanding, as we all
Yes.
know, but give us an idea. Which ones are growing quicker or
I
more?
would say Montgomery, Magnolia, Conroe, those areas are booming. They're doing a lot of new construction in those areas.
And are you helping more buyers or sellers at this time?
Well, the past 2 years, it was primarily buyers, but 2024 has been all about sellers.
Wow. I wonder
Yes.
how it's, the interesting thing about real estate, Tony, is that we never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of shifting
Exactly.
and trends and dynamics, right?
Exactly. I experienced that this morning.
You did
It's
already.
always changing.
Well, that keeps us all excited, right?
Keeps you on your toes.
Well, how did you get into the real estate world to begin with?
Well, I spent 15 years as an elementary school teacher, and then the pandemic hit. I've always had a passion for real estate, but I took the pandemic as an opportunity to go to real estate school and explore my other passions. And I was a dual agent for 2 years. This past June, I resigned from elementary education and started real estate full time.
Well, the one thing now, I think one of the pluses, correct me if I'm wrong, of being in the school system is that you get the whole summer off, right? Is that true?
Yes, you do get the summer off. You get Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, spring break. I actually work harder now than I ever did in my entire life.
I had a feeling you are. Yeah.
Yes, 7 days a week. No summers off anymore.
But if people are tuning into the YouTube channel, they could see a big smile on your face because you must be enjoying the heck out of it.
I do. I love it. I'm very happy with the career change. I help a lot of teachers become homeowners, so I'm very excited. I can blend the best of both worlds.
I think that's good now that you bring it up. You have a specialty with teachers because you
Yes.
know their world, and, hey, maybe it's busier for the teaching community to buy and sell during the summer, right?
Correct. I do see a boom in business during the summertime. I have a lot of teacher friends that are starting to reach out to me because they're preparing to maybe change schools or relocate or move this summer, and they want to purchase a home so they can be situated.
And, of course, JLA is a powerhouse. He's a
Yes.
power broker. There's no question about it. John is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, you all have meetings too.
Yes, we have meetings every Monday. We have a MAD call every Monday, mentorship, accountability, and discipline every Monday, and then we have a call every Thursday.
MAD.
MAD.
Let's tell them again what that means.
Mentorship, accountability, and discipline. I'm sorry.
No,
discipline.
you got
Yes,
it, yeah.
I got it. Yes.
So,
Every Monday at 9, and then we have a call every Thursday at 9.
well, there's also some, other than John Altick, there's some impressive brain power that's part of the operation. Danny Frank is there.
Yes.
What are the things that you guys are progressing from Danny and John and all the other people as far as how this is going to unfold this 2024 that we're moving along rapidly?
Well, we're excited for 2024. We speak about this a lot in our calls. We anticipate a robust 2024 for buyers and sellers. So they're just preparing all of their agents to just be ready because it's coming in 2024. So we're excited about that.
Now, you're not in the mortgage world, of course, but do y'all talk about the rates very much? Or is that kind of a thing? Are we at the point where people are saying, hey, okay, the rates are higher, we're living with that, we're going to buy?
They are higher, but they've been higher from what I understand in previous years. But we do anticipate that rates are going to drop, so we're excited about that.
So there's a feeling amongst the
Yes.
the community.
Yes.
It might drop or maybe a dip. Who knows?
A dip, not a huge drop, not COVID drop, but we do anticipate a drop. But now's still a good time to purchase. Don't wait for it to drop. Now's a good time to purchase.
So wait a minute. What you're saying, Tony, when's a good time to buy?
Now is always a good time to buy.
You sure?
I'm positive.
So a good time to buy is
Now.
there you go. The word is out. Tony Crayman with JLA Realty. Hey, we make the proclamation right here, Tony, right?
Yes,
So it must be true.
it's very true.
So as you progress in your real estate adventures, I mean, you're learning all the time. You're with a great company, and learning is a big part of the JLA culture, I know.
Yes.
So social media. Now, do you use Facebook? I know I use
it all.
You use it all.
I use it all.
Where do you get the most results?
I get the most results from Facebook and Instagram. I'm just now learning TikTok, but I get a lot of interaction from Facebook and Instagram.
So now I'm familiar with Facebook because we'll put your segment on Facebook so people can see it there, and you could blast it out, your individual segment that is. But Instagram I'm not familiar with, and I don't use it. How does Instagram complement or is better than Facebook or not?
I don't know if it's better than Facebook.
Just another tool.
Yes, it's just another tool. I post the exact same thing on Facebook that I post on Instagram.
Just covering other bases.
Yes, just covering more people, because the same people that follow me on Facebook are not the same people that follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I have some older friends that are not into Instagram or TikTok, and they follow me on Facebook. So it's just different audiences.
Now, when you mentioned TikTok, I've experimented with TikTok, and I find it where it's not so much helping in work. It's more of, to me, it's a source for comedy, for jokes.
Okay.
And you know, I see a lot of that, and I enjoy it, but
Yes.
it's like, I don't know what business they're doing on here. But I might
I
not
do a lot of videos and reels on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
it's quick.
It is quick, and you go through it very quickly, but it makes you wonder with all these things, Tony, I wonder what they're going to come up with next. There might be another, as we're speaking.
I'm sure they will come up with something else
As
next.
we're speaking, somebody's working on something right now.
Yes.
So, okay, buyers? We talked a little bit about buyers, but what about the sellers? So let's say I'm in the Woodlands, right? You're serving the Woodlands in a tremendous way. So I'm in the Woodlands. I say, Tony, I want to sell my house. And I'm thinking, I'm hearing all around that people are talking about the collection team with Tony Cramen. So what are you going to tell me as a potential seller of their home?
Well, the collection team, we are a team that's supportive of each other. We are focused. We are results driven, and we support each other. We are branded. We take great pride in our branding, from our listing presentation to our open house decor, all the way from consultation to closing. We're very big on our branding. We're big on social media, so we will get your home out there to as many people as possible so they can see it, so we can get it sold quickly. But our biggest thing, I think, on the collection team is that we support each other, that we help each other, and that we just want to grow each other, and we motivate each other, and we inspire each other. So I think all of those things are attributes when you're selling your home. You're not just working with me, you're working with a team. That main focus is to sell your home and to be successful.
And I like to use the word motivate, because you know what? In any profession, every now and then, you know, there's ups and downs in the enjoyment in our roles and whatever we're doing. But every now and then we need a little bit of motivation to get pumped up, right?
Yes.
Motivation's important. Who came up with the name The Collection Team?
Amber Cool.
Part of
That's
the
my
team?
broker. Yes, she came up with the collection team.
That's a
You
good
like
name.
it?
I do like it.
I like it too.
She's probably listening, right? So, Tony, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
Well, I am very passionate about real estate. I'm here to help you if you want to buy, sell, or lease. And I can be reached at 832-797-0145. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
The number again is
832-797-0145.
Tony, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Well, it's insurance time. We're going to not do the preamble, but John Bramlett is here with Stewart Insurance. John, here we are. Let's tell people what's the latest, and how about this show?
This was a fantastic show. It was wonderful. It was interesting having David on. I've been working on the next segment, and it's going to be based on some forward-thinking forecasting from AccuWeather and what they're expecting for hurricane season for 2024. So we'll have to share that next week. But the fact having David on was really fantastic, and then having Kat with HAR on was really great. Stewart Insurance is really fortunate to have a partnership with HAR, and we teach our 3 CE classes with HAR, and you can find them at har.com/education. And then I'm also on the Risk Management Advisory Council for HAR, so it's really been an enjoyable partnership, and we enjoy working with them very much.
There's no doubt about it. One of the things that is evident show in and show out, no matter what, everything is related to real estate, insurance, weather, rental property.
Well, it is. I mean, everybody has to have a place to live, and it's important, and it's become, a source of income. It's become a source of revenue. Many times it's a center of our lives where our families are. So it's always a relative topic.
It really is. People can reach Stewart Insurance at stewartinsurance.com. And also, you're doing CE classes. Everything we do on the show, we try to inform, yes, and entertain and educate along the way. But you're out there in the field educating. You're right there in the real estate offices helping people with CE classes and everything.
Well, it is. I mean, my job is like our representatives have been under today. I'm out, building awareness of our company and driving revenue, hopefully. So we do have 3 continuing education classes. I'll teach 66 some odd classes this year.
Wow.
I'm on the board of the Houston Independent Real Estate Brokers Association, on the board of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. As I mentioned, the Risk Management Advisory Council with HAR, and an active with the National Association of Residential Property Managers. So I really try to be active in the marketplace and provide as much value as we can.
You are making the rounds in a tremendous way all over Houston, Texas. I was somewhere just the other week. I forget where. They said, yeah, John Bramlett, Stewart Insurance, because I mentioned the radio show. They said, yeah, we see him at this meeting, that meeting. You're at all the meetings, and you're teaching classes. I don't know how you do it.
Well, it's we have a passion for what we do, and we truly hope that we're providing value for our clients and prospective clients and the folks in the industry.
And when Tony was talking about the JLA MAD meeting,
yes,
Stewart Insurance, you all have like a meeting too every week, maybe at the same time they're working.
We do. In fact, we have rallies every morning at 8 and then again at 1 o'clock.
Sounds awesome. John, what else should we know?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, we would love to help you out, whether that be for your personal insurance or your business insurance. And you can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. 866-798-2827. In fact, we have a HAR and JLA hotline.
And what's that?
866-798-2827.
That's what I thought you'd say. Thank you so much, John Bramlett. And now, for the first time in radio history, we have Robin Mays. She's the escrow officer, one of the escrow officers at Stewart Title of Montgomery County, right here in the Houston, Texas marketplace. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, here you are. You're on the radio, Robin.
I am.
How about that?
I love it.
It's a little different than the escrow work, right?
It is, absolutely.
Let's tell people, as an escrow officer, what do you recommend to them to be prepared for the closing? Just maybe 2 tips, if you would.
I would recommend you have your driver's license, an unexpired driver's license, a active or a passport, how much you would need to bring to closing.
We want to make sure we have the money, right?
The money.
And identification.
Identification.
So do people actually bring an unexpired license every now and then?
Every now and then.
It does happen, huh?
Especially during COVID.
Well, that sounds awesome. Robin Mays doing tremendous work right up there in Montgomery County. What else should we know, Robin?
You should also know that Stewart Title has been in business for 131 years.
100.
We have 3 escrow officers at the Magnolia location. Together with the experiences that we have there, it's 80 years of title experience between the 3 escrow officers.
That's a lot of experience. People want to bring the contract up there right now. What number should they call, Robin?
They should call 832-482-1856.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having
me. I'm going
to
bring my active driver's license when I get up there. It'll be up there.
Not expired.
And now, here she is once again, Kat Robinson. She is the vice chair at HAR and a tremendous realtor at Compass. Kat, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to tell people to check out the YouTube video at stewart.com/radio as you were wearing the cowboy hat just a few minutes ago.
It was a great cowboy hat. It might go missing later.
Uh-oh. So if I missed there you go. Well, thank you for that alert. Well, let's tell people, as we close the show, what else do you want them to know?
So when you work with a realtor, you definitely want to sit down and talk with them, interview them. You have a choice. There are 52,000 of us in Houston, and we're all ready to work. Some are a little bit more anxious than others, and the key is that you match the anxiety level with your person. So if you want stuff right now, find an agent that responds really quickly. Like, that's the first step for finding a realtor that will meet your needs. And then progress, meet them over coffee, let them talk about their processes and dial in, commit to that person, or say, I want to talk to some more people to make sure that you find the right fit. Because a lot of our realtors, they're going to be with you for the rest of your life. We're here to help you find a painter, a plumber, a roofer down the road. So it's a relationship business. And so if we fail to help you a year into your home ownership, then I think we've missed the boat, because we are here to serve our community and serve you for the lifetime of home ownership.
So well put, because it is important to have the compatibility factor with the real estate professional.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the realtor has to know what they're doing, all the ins and outs, all the contract work, the changes, everything, but compatibility and in communication compatibility especially.
Oh, yeah. Everyone has a different communication style, and I think it's so important that you have that compatibility.
And once again, we say hi to Jack out there listening. Your mom's doing a tremendous job. Kat, how can we reach you?
Okay, you can reach me at 404-915-6282. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Kat Robinson Realtor. 404-915-6282.
Love it. Thank you so much. I like when you have fun telling the phone number. You're almost like John Bramlett in a way, but we love it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And now, the collection, JLA Realty. Tony Cramond. Well, Tony, here we are once again. What else should we know? The final, it's you and me at the final moments of the show. Did you ever think it would happen?
No, but I'm happy that it did.
It is. And once again, we say hi to our good buddy, John Altick, leading the company in a tremendous way. And, oh, yeah, Danny Frank. I don't know when Danny's going to come on the show, but we'll reach out to him.
Yes,
it's been a while.
Reach out to him.
What else should we know about what you're doing there, Tony?
Well, we are doing amazing things at the collection. We are always excited to help buyers and sellers and investors and leases. We work with everything. So give us a call at the collection. We're happy to help you.
That sounds good. The number again is
832-797-0145. 832-797-0145. And I can also be reached on all social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Tony, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett and all of us at Stewart Insurance and Stewart Title. And once again, thanks to David Paul, doing tremendous work. I'm going to be checking the weather out tonight. As soon as I get home, it's going to be awesome. David's doing great work over there at Channel 11, as all the team is. So thank you all for listening. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see and hear the show at stewart.com/radio. And some people in the room are wearing cowboy hats on this Go Texan edition. Join us next week. Thanks again.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.